Jerome, the proto-Joker?
You don't think we'll ever see a full-blown Joker? Because, I mean, he's the most iconic villain in all of comics, and it's something that everyone keeps asking about.
I feel like we have to by the end of the show.
Yeah.
I hope that when the end of the show is near, our writers will know that.
Yeah.
And be able to put final characters of not just the Joker, but of everybody. Because I feel like the show is leading up to a certain point. It's leading up to the Penguin. It's leading up to the Riddler. It's leading up to Batman. It's leading up to Commissioner Gordon. And I feel like I really hope that we'll be able to see our versions of those characters be full-blown those characters before the show ends. And I feel like the Joker is one of those characters that really, really is crucial to the Batman lore.
Yeah.
He
absolutely.
I think I'd be comfortable saying that he is the most important character after Batman in the Batman lore.
It's one of those things where Batman kind of creates the Joker and the Joker kind of creates Batman.
Absolutely.
At least that's the way it goes in the comics and a lot of the other animated stories and movies and everything.
What's going on, guys? So we got just another Gotham video for you guys, and this news comes over from the interview. This interview's been out for a while, but it is something I wanted to talk about. From comicbook.com, they did an interview with David Mazouz. I always forget his freaking last name. You know it, I know it, I just can't say it. But yeah, so they did an interview, and they asked him if we are ever going to get a Joker by the end of the show. And he believes that by the end of the show, yes, we should get the Joker. And he feels like the show is building to all of that. But the most interesting thing about this interview is he said they're still building to the Riddler. They're still building to the Penguin and, of course, Batman. And he thinks that they're going to do the same thing with Joker. And that is something I really loved. Because I know we have this conversation a lot, like, is Jerome going to be freaking Joker? And a lot of us, I think we can agree that, yes, he's going to be the Joker. But I think it's the producers and other people saying that, well, like, he is a proto version, and he's, you know, maybe going to inspire the Joker or whatever. That's the kind of shit that drives people up a wall, because we're just like, just tell us he is going to be the Joker in the future, but you're just building up to it. We'll be totally fine. We just want that confirmation. But we hear all this stuff like, no, Jerome was actually supposed to die after his 3 arcs. If you guys didn't know that, I believe Jerome was supposed to get his head cut off at those 3 episodes in season 3. That would have been crazy and pissed off a lot of people, but they're like, he's too much of a fan favorite, we can't do that. But seriously though, I think a lot of us actually get annoyed with producers being like, oh yeah, he's not actually Joker, but this and that. And so, I don't know, because it's just freaking annoying, and I think we can all agree with that. But with this interview, it was just really interesting, you know, to hear that, you know, we're still building to Riddler, and we're still building the Penguin, because, you know, we feel like those characters have been solidified for a really long time. They're just still stepping to their actual, like, places in time. And we thought we finally just got the Riddler when we finally got his name. And, you know, that's what he's calling himself. And Penguin's had his name for a long time, since the first episode of season 1. But he hasn't become that Penguin we know and love from the comic books. And so it's interesting to hear David say that he is, you know, still in a proto version. So that's very good news for all the Jerome lovers out there that think, you know, like, isn't he gonna be the Joker? And it just seems like he is the proto version of the Joker. But I think sometimes people get confused with the word proto. Like, is that just inspiration? Like, what does that mean? You know, the definition is original or first, depending on where you're looking at it. So yeah, he would be the first one, the first Joker. And I'd be totally cool with that if it is a proto version of this character. And one thing I've said about, like, if Jerome for some stupid reason is not the Joker, then it just totally kills the Joker character. Because the Joker himself would never copy another person. He would not steal somebody else's idea to make it his own. Like, he would always have to come up with the original ideas. I mean, he freaking knocked Harley out of a window when she tried to steal his idea. Like, that's how original he wants to be with his kind of stuff. So he definitely would not steal his persona, or he wouldn't steal the persona of the Joker from somebody else. So Jerome has to be the Joker, and nobody else can be at this point because Gotham's already set it up to be that. So hearing this is some good news for those fans out there that are just like, oh my god, I need to know, because it does seem more like, you know what, they're taking small steps, and everybody that we know would be a certain character is just proto versions right now. I mean, Riddler and Penguin are still in the proto stages from David's comments in this interview, and that's just good to know. So we can kind of be a little chill, although that's no confirmation. I mean, he's not the writer, he's not the executive producer on this show. They could easily still say Jerome is not Joker, and we're gonna kill him just to prove it, although they already did that and he came back. So, you know, I think it's safe to assume, and I've said this a million times, Jerome has to be Joker in my eyes, but I do think he's going to be that. They're just not going to give him the full-blown Joker with the green hair and the purple suit, and, you know, he's kind of already got the laugh, but, you know, all of that craziness and the name Joker. I mean, they literally have had the scene from season 3 with the cards on the table that had a Joker card from the security guards where Jerome was being kept. So it would be really ridiculous for him not to be Joker, but I do think, and I know a lot of you guys have mentioned this in the comments, or you've told me on Twitter that, like, when we talk about this, or when I talk about Jerome not being the Joker, like, if he's not the Joker, it would be stupid. A lot of you guys have said that maybe he's not going to be, like, the green-haired Joker until the end, which is something I'm totally cool with. Because if they do it that way, then my theory about him actually joining the Red Hood gang, which I know a lot of you guys subscribe to this channel with my very first Joker, or I should say Jerome video. My theory from that video about him joining the Red Hood gang, possibly building up that gang, and then falling into the vat, that would still be possible in this current Gotham system if he is going to build up to the Joker. And I really hope, Gotham, that you are building to that. Also, you know, give me a job, because, you know, I made that video a long time ago and it's a good idea, you know what I'm saying? But seriously, it would be really awesome if that is the case, because I think there's so much they can do with, since we know that, you know, Bruce is going to start building up to Batman. You know, it's what David said in this thing. You know, he's going to keep accelerating to that point after we saw that at the end of season 3. Well, now it would be a good point, like a good, I should say, good time to actually do that with Jerome as well. And the best way to do that is to give him the Red Hood arc. You don't even need to show him. Like, I mean, at this point, you're gonna know if it's Jerome or not, but it would be cool to have him start up the Red Hood gang. Maybe have the Red Hood gang come back for like a couple episodes or something, and then you find out the leader is actually Jerome. That would be kind of cool. But I think before you do that, you have to show him get out of Arkham and have him escape and do some stuff like that before he joins the Red Hood gang. But either way, I think they could really do that awesome storyline, and I really hope that they do that storyline. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video for you because I know a lot of people were really interested in that. Y'all were sending me that link and being like, oh, what are your thoughts on this? Because, you know, that's a lot of villains right now are not the full characters they are. And this is another good thing with a lot of people are like, this show doesn't make sense. You can't have the villains without Batman. Well, technically, the villains aren't where we know them. Like, you know, we know from the comic books, Batman creates the villains, basically. And I've always said with this show, it's in reverse. The villains are going to create Batman. But it's cool to know that the villains aren't fully developed yet. They still have a lot to learn. They still have a lot to become the characters that we know and love. And now that Batman is starting to get, you know, he's starting to get a little bit of steam, and we're going to start seeing a little bit more training and all that kind of stuff in season 4. Maybe by the end, if this show is, you know, lucky enough to get season 5, 6, 7, however long it's going to go on, maybe by the time they'll be able to catch up and be around the same time, and maybe the last season will be like super epic and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think this is really interesting. I thought this interview was really cool, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. The full interview will be in the description down below. Or I should say the article to that interview will be in the description down below. But you know, I want to know what your thoughts are on this whole information. What did you think of this interview? What did you think about the whole proto status of all the characters in this show? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, don't forget, if you ever want to support this channel, you can check out the Patreon like these awesome people did, or you can do the OG thing and give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your Gotham buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I am your host, Juice from the Box. Don't forget, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I made a little of juice? See you guys next time.